unlike yesterday, where I finished up uploading halfway through our session and then didn't even notice. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Monsters campaign. We're back for our 5th session. Technically our 4th, but 5th if you count session 0. So, quick announcement. Just to mention this, 2 quick announcements. This is the first time we're live. 3. So first off, Reject Potential. Peaceful Future episode on Sunday has been posted on the YouTube. Go check it out. Secondly, Cook will be dropping out of the campaigns for the time being because he's got his new job, so he won't be able to join us. He will be hopefully joining us in the future. Just for the time being, with him being the new cook, he's got to get set up and get some seniority before he can switch his shifts. And thirdly, the Friday session is coming to an end as of currently. Me, Chaston, Cook, and Cameron are planning a little last finale one-shot for that series. That will go up sometime in the next couple weeks whenever Cook is free. So, maybe he is... Oh, god damn it. I just read that.
Not sorry.
But yeah, so as far as it goes, just as a heads up, make those quick 3 announcements. Definitely check out the Peaceful Future session. We had some interesting tension amongst that session. Definitely worth a watch, and next session is going to be very interesting. So, also apologies for leaving off vacations, Christmas, yada yada. Any YouTuber / streamer will tell you tells you the same shit. Everyone goes on vacation during the weekend of Christmas, so none of us were free. But, last time, we left off with this party. If you all remember, which you probably don't because it's been a few weeks, the party had managed to invade, if you will, the dungeon underneath the Lost Guild, long forgotten to only a year ago, 10 years ago, technically, when Rejected Potential finished up their session. The party managed to delve into the deep dungeon of one floor. Heading further in, they searching around. I'm trying to think of the words here, guys. I promise. I'm sober as all hell. My brain's just slow today because I'm tired. Delving. Thank you. Delving deeper into the dungeon, the party managed to find a group of orcs after exploring the left wing of the dungeon itself. After realizing it was a 3-pronged dungeon, coming across this unique group of orcs with one sort of diseased or cursed with pestilence that even Friend wouldn't eat. The party attacked the orcs, watching this almost glowing and boil-filled orc kind of starting to slowly expand. Not realizing that these orcs had no interest in combat, nor were they attacking them. The party immediately rushed in with Doramar, I believe. Oh no, Salith and Friend managing to get in there and getting right up around them, if I remember correctly. Or was it Doramar? God, it's been so long, I don't even remember now.
No, yeah.
Friend rushed in. Duramar's throwing spells.
Yeah, I was a ways away.
Okay, so maybe it was just Friend and 3 who got up. Okay. Anyways, go watch the last session. I forgot most of it. I do remember this. Karthus crit confirmed himself, or rather crit failed himself.
On
the first turn, and Robert declared that if his next character died, he was re-retiring from my campaign. He'll show up in 2023 if that happens. As we come back after the party found a Warforge kind of broken and smashed in the corner, a magic circle at the center of the dungeon, and 2 other wings yet to explore, we come back to the party still standing in that room where the only remaining orc is the one that splattered everywhere, if I remember correctly, that no one wanted to eat, especially Friend. And the Warforge that seems to be deactivated.
That looks like food.
Okay.
I'm gonna be real.
You gonna try to eat the Warforge?
I'm gonna make sure there's nothing on it first that's gonna hurt me. Like
Okay.
that slime on the other orc.
Alright. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. Our first
Man,
roll
I'm great
for
at
the night.
these. By that I mean I have a +0. That's a nat 20.
Still better than a -1 when talking. As you look over the Warforged, you're not very familiar with them, friend, in your experience. So you're not really sure what would be dangerous to you outright. But looking around the creature or the Warforged itself, it looks to have recently had its armor plates refurbished and reattached. It looks almost as if it was freshly rebuilt. You do notice a slight scratch mark, what looks like it had been a really hard claw going across its chest. But instead of the typical silver like the iron golems you saw, this one seems to have blackened metal and seems somewhat familiar.
Familiar to me?
Yes.
That doesn't seem right. Friend will keep poking around it, not knowing what to do, because he's seen, I think, one Warforged in the past.
Okay. Salith, what about you?
Just hanging out, I think.
Okay.
She doesn't really have any thing she wants to do.
Okay. 3 more. 3 more.
What was that?
I said, was there
I think
anything
I cut
you...
out for a second. I just now heard you say my name.
Oh, okay.
What?
Was there anything you'd like to do in the room?
No, I'm very much still pretty hurt, and so probably checking over my own wounds, keeping an eye out for any new threats, and letting the rest of the party, kind of explore and, like, do what they will with the magic circle and all that. Listen, man, I don't want to die, okay? I'm keeping alert. All 3 heads are, like, very vigilant right now, but otherwise, no, I'm...
Okay.
Leaving it to the other people to poke around with what they will.
Okay. And Duramar continues to kind of watch as well, watching the hallway to see if any other diseased orcs come by.
I'd like to figure out how to turn on the Warforged.
Okay.
I wish to activate a new friend for friend.
It's not a question I usually get.
Yes.
I'm gonna say, yeah, another investigation check, or general history check to see if you can figure something out.
Well, both are a +0, so we'll see what happens. That's a 9.
As you kind of look through the creature, the Warforged, as you kind of slide under its back as it's kind of laying in this corner, kind of with its back flat on the ground, its head tilted up slightly. You see on its back there is a what looks to be kind of a insert of sorts, a dent in the body that is weirdly shaped like a hammer.
I see.
Yeah, I was really worried you were about to give me an on and off switch.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they're just gonna deactivate you when you don't need to be around. It'll be fine.
So it's on the back.
Yes.
And he's leaning up against a wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be hard for friend to, like, get him to lay on the ground on his stomach so he can see it better?
I mean, theoretically, you can make a strength check to push him.
I'm gonna call the giant 8-foot-tall Knoll Lord to do it by talking to Salith first. Send big thing. Move robot.
Salith will actually just go over and attempt to help.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and give me a strength check, Salith. Let's see if you can manage to push the robot over.
Ooh. Wow.
Nice! Alright. Yeah, as you manage to kind of get a good hold on the arm and pull, it's definitely heavy, but as the Warforged kind of tips over, you see on its back the emblem of what looks to be a hammer. Bastion, someone is bothering your entire body while you've been peacefully sleeping.
Alright.
You can feel you have been kind of tipped over slightly.
Let me see. Can I lash out at whoever's the closer of the two?
Yeah. So as you Saleth, as you kind of pull this Warforged over, kind of rolling it onto its stomach, immediately the arms go lashing out in all directions, or not all directions, going towards you, trying to smack you. Bastion, go ahead and make an attack.
How's this 25 do?
25? I'm going to assume you're not trying to kill him, so...
No, it's just an unarmed
Don't
strike.
die.
Yeah, so I'm not going to allow the crit on this one. And how much damage is that, just out of curiosity? It's 4. Okay.
4.
So, yeah, Saleth, as you are kind of... as you pull this robot over, it smacks you in the knee, or in the leg, leaving a big bruise on your leg now, as this iron hand just swats you. Is swatting allowed to be said nowadays?
Is that within view of the rest of us, or no?
Yeah, you can all see this.
Friend
Yeah,
is
if
meant
I-
to eat something swings, friend eats.
You gonna try and eat it?
Saleth is. It's not a reaction, but they are going to cast Arms of Hadar,
Okay.
which. Whoop! It's a strength save from you,
All right.
Bastion.
Bastion, give me a
Roll it
strength
out.
save.
Actually, also potentially friend, because friend's within 10 feet.
Yes.
What,
So,
we like this?
yeah, friend as well.
3 Moz.
13 from Bastion, and 21 from friend.
Friend, you save, you take 5. Bastion, you take 11.
Ow. That hurt.
Bastion, you just kind of feel something kind of
Oh, wait.
weird.
Yep.
Oh,
Never mind. 1 second. Sorry, 6. You take 6 as a Bastion and 3 friend
okay.
of necrotic.
Um,
Apparently, I have a custom damage in there.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Bastion, as you're kind of laying there, you feel something kind of slimy wiggling around on your back.
What is on me right now?
As you see, as this robot kind of turns and suddenly begins to talk.
In what language?
Common for
com-
now.
Oh, god damn it.
Friend
Just
opens
the
his
most reactionary one.
It's fair. Bastion.
Sorry, which language?
Oh.
I missed
Common.
Common.
that. Okay.
Bastion.
Rima is moving over.
The
with
last-
their sword. by
The
way.
last thing you remember was you were with a group in the in the Dwarven lands, and you remember getting eaten or knocked out by a this giant rock worm while you were surrounded by your friends, and everything started to kind of melt around you. And then you slightly remember something about a red orc and being swung around at people. It was a really trippy dream. You're not 100% sure what was going on. And after the red orc had passed, you spent a year just kind of going hand to hand through merchants that you can recall as you traversed many lands, and then suddenly found yourself in the hands of an orcish adventurer, where after the orc came down here, you expanded from the hammer, and the hammer disappeared.
Nice.
Mhm.
The Transformer.
Who are you?
My name is Bastion. I don't quite know how I got down here. Other than that I was carried, I guess. But
Well, that's slightly more than me. Although I know how I got here, I just don't know how I woke up a few weeks ago.
A lot of people don't know how they woke up a few weeks ago. Yeah, 3 Maw is heading over and is gonna look over and Saleth, speaking in Infernal. What's going on? What are you is this guy good or does he need killed? And and he's gripping the sword of the Everflame as he says this and like eyeing the robots down. I don't know if he's ever seen a Warforged. Has he?
Nope. You've never seen a
This
Warforged.
looks like a.
This
Have
looks
you
like a
seen
golem.
golems?
Yep, this
No,
looks like an
yeah.
iron golem. But just a
Yeah,
lot
he's-
smaller and more condensed.
Weak
Bastion
golem.
turns towards Three Maul and Infernal and is like, define good.
Oh, you notice the all the three of the heads look pretty surprised when you understand, and then sort of become all stoic and angry, I guess, again, and say, "Well, I define good as anything that won't kill me. Where's your master, Golem? What brings you here?"
Don't have a master. Last I recall, I was with a group of people that I thought were friends. But I got attacked and everything goes dark and now I'm here. But they never came to find me. And
Well, those
I don't know that they were truly there for me.
very sad story. I'm crying tears of sorrow. Anyway, he turns back to Salith. What's the game plan now? We almost just died to infected orcs, and I feel like we need a plan moving forward.
Well, I don't know, but it seems my magic has run out. I should probably rest, or some of my magic. 'Cause she still
Resting
doesn't
would be good
understand
for me as
Warlock.
well.
Fair.
Yeah, Three Maw looks at the injuries he got and just like not very happy about them.
And I like pull the slime that I imagine is still sucking on my back. off
Yeah,
of me.
yeah. You do as you kind of.
Not in slime form. I never have been.
Oh, were you?
Oh, okay.
I thought you were slicking around. Still, feeling a child. Well, to be fair, Bastion, you would feel a slime as he is on you. But as you look back, you see a child, a small child.
Small elven
Slimy
child.
child.
Yeah.
Elven child.
I will say, as you kind of move your hand to swat him away, you do notice that there is now an imprint on your back, in the shape of a hammer that you roughly remember being attached to at one point.
If he
Gonna,
goes to
like, run
swat
my-
me, it's gonna go through me.
Not really swat. I'm just trying to like pull you off.
No,
of me.
your hand will go through me.
You, you don't want to touch that one. Corrosive.
Yeah,
It's still
an
infernal.
abyssal. Friend, not food.
Aww, this will get off.
As you all kind of turn back, you notice Duramar is nowhere to be found.
Oh, joy.
Huh.
The only one that could tame the thing's gone.
Well, I guess Bastion, you're a couple weeks late, but you're in the same situation the rest of us were. Although I think we're missing somebody. I don't know where they went.
Well, someone just died. The other one disappeared. We're trapped in a dungeon full of infected creatures. Look, if you're not doing anything, we can use the manpower. If not, you're getting left behind. We really don't have the resources to do charity work, if you understand that. And kind of huffs as the flame mane on the main head kind of expands and then simmers down. Temper.
If
Not very happy about these turn of events.
if you all are here for the same reason I am, I think we'll get along just fine.
Three Maw just kind of glance at Salith, glance at Bastion.
Salith just shrugs.
Yeah,
Shrugs and nods.
shrugs. Sure. Yeah, Three Maw will nod when Salith does.
As they sit down.
Okay. As his friend kind of goes off looking down the hallway, looking for Duramar, as you all are focusing on the new Warforged companion. I assume 3 and Salus, you wanted to take a long rest, or at least get out of the dungeon to take a long rest.
All I need is a short rest, so it's up to the rest.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Wonderful thing about
hang on.
warlocks.
Fair.
Let me check.
I gotta
something.
heal up
Take
now
my
that
damage.
I
My
took damage.
blood malediction comes back from a short rest, and I'll heal from a short rest. So a short rest works for me too as a blood hunter.
Okay.
Long rest would be great to get full health, but I mean, any healing's better than none.
Yeah, I'll have to take a short rest as well.
Okay. So as you lot kind of
I just need a coffee break.
sit down to kind of catch Bastion up on what you're doing here, kind of explaining the rough situation, moving the bodies off to the what's left of the pus-filled corpse, I imagine, out of the way. God damn it, fucking friend. Okay. You lot managed to kind of sit down and taking turns kind of watching and resting while you're sitting there. Go ahead and take your short rest.
Alright. Do I want to roll digital or physical D10? That's the question. That is the question. I'll try the physical. I'll see how it goes. I've yet to roll a D10, I think, in person. Ugh. If I can open these stupid dice.
That's
That's what I
why
think it is.
that's why we roll with the dice in D&D Beyond.
Aren't they still open from last night?
That's fair.
Well, no,
you have
I
problems
got
opening
new
them too?
dice.
I know.
I got
you
new.
have problems
They're all the
opening
same
them.
package.
How many
Listen,
dice did you
there's different
get?
Dice. I got
6.
at least eight or
Only
8
6?
pairs probably.
Yeah, I rolled enough to heal.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, this is the. No, that's the D12. Where's the D10 at? I need the D10. I require. That's the D8. Does not come with a D10? Okay,
How
no,
I
here's the
remember
D10.
the amateur days of Dice Goblins when you didn't have everything
I've-
kind of set aside and in sets and all that.
Yeah.
No, because I just opened these, so I'm like, where the heck? Okay.
I went from half health to full.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
well, I got 2 plus 2, so I heal for 4.
I healed for 13.
That's
It's nice.
great.
I mean, you're only 5 underneath your max.
Wait,
so.
can we use all our hit dice if we choose to? Because I
Yes.
might roll a second
Yep.
one then. Okay, then I'll roll a second.
You can use
So
as many hit die as
4.
you feel as you can or as you wish.
Okay. Oh, well, that's a 1, so 5.
3 more. There you go.
I will say,
3 more?
Bastion.
Do you add the bonus 2 times?
Yeah, add your con
Oh,
modifier each time.
Then yes, I'm actually almost full anyway, so that works out.
I will say, Bastion, you will slowly gain your memory back as time goes on of your time prior. So just as a heads up, the good news is you no longer have the voice of that old Yuan-Ti Queen in your head. So there's that benefit.
Nice.
And Ben Zorman's not in your head either, so that's even better.
That's a huge thing. Sorry, that's out of game.
If you do want him though, he isn't an item now. His soul is trapped in a crown. So if you ever get interested, let me know.
Okay, will do.
I would love to bring Cameron into the session to have to voice that every few minutes. All right. As you kind of relax and watch, you see Friend kind of slightly glows a little purple, with a very light tinge on his skin as he's sitting there with you lot. But as you gain your short rest, kind of thinking and contemplating your next moves, and generally planning out the dungeon, you get the general idea. There's 2 more rooms, and then that you're looking for an item that specifically seems to work in the pedestal in this dungeon. And as you all recall, you are looking for a hammer as your main quest. So after your long rest, kind of getting up and looking around, what would you like to do?
Well, shall we try some of these other rooms?
Friend will lead the way.
All right.
Lime adventure.
Okay.
So, did they catch me up on what they're looking for and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have caught you up.
You guys said you're looking for a hammer.
Yes.
I have this imprint on my back.
Well, that's a hammer. We found it.
I don't know if it's related.
It might be.
Well, it's convenient if it's not related.
Maybe why you're left here.
Ouch. Oh gods. Alright. As you lot kind of start heading down the hallway, as Bastion contemplates this, you come back to the center room where you see the pedestal once again, still having that shape of a hammer in the center pedestal to be placed in. You see the hallway to your right from the stairs, and the one is straight in front of you that you can go down. Which one do you choose?
Right?
Direction friend will run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let the slime snip ahead.
As you turn to the right, as you kind of start to look down, since Friend is leading, Friend, please give me a perception check.
And of course, as I always do, I will be in cat form while sniffing out.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Maybe I should have been leading if it's a
16.
perception check.
16.
16.
Okay.
I don't think it's 5%.
As you kind of just walking a few feet down the hall, I believe you have dark vision, correct?
I have dark vision and blind sight.
Yeah. So looking further down the hallway, you immediately see as there are about 4 of those orcs that look very similar to the diseased one earlier, the one that you realized was definitely not food. And they are stumbling around in the room.
So these are the ones that I couldn't eat.
Yes.
Friend's turning around.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He is shaking his head while he walks back to the entrance.
Okay. Oh,
What?
Saleth, ask it what's wrong.
What's in there?
More non-edibles. Big one, other room. More of them.
No hammer?
Yes, hammer. Not going near it. Tried to eat me, they did.
But we need the hammer.
Lead.
Isn't the slime literally indestructible?
Yeah.
No, the other slime tried to eat me last time in the other room.
It did indeed.
Friend doesn't want to get near something that eats him. He's the predator, damn it.
Well, you just have to eat it back, so you extra assert dominance.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Well, I can make them come this way, but I'm not very good up front.
Last time's monster went boom. Fire.
Oh wait, well that's not a language I understand, so I can't comment.
No, I only know Abyssal and Sylvan.
Unless Saleth is just translating everything.
I would at this point I would assume.
For the last part, yeah, probably.
Okay.
When just talking to
Well,
friend,
I
it's gonna be an abyssal.
give my strikes firepower, but it does take a toll on my body, and up close with creatures like these, I can't say I'll last long if I'm the only one to be up front.
Well, you would also remember that it exploded the last time I got hit with fire, so you probably don't want to be near it.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. It's not gonna
Bastion,
be
are
good.
you better up front or far away?
I do best right up front.
There we go.
Are
Two of you can help
good with
go
the
up front, and
elements?
I can pull them.
What kind of ooze is coming out of these things?
Very not good. Very not good.
Something like that one, but different.
Aggressive, mindless oozes.
All right. So what would you like to do?
I mean, if we're ready, I can. We want to be by the door. I can pull them from
Oh,
the room
hang on.
if
Do I
everybody's
want
ready.
to activate my right before, or I'll activate it before because it lasts until short long rest. So let me take that D4 damage real quick.
Oh, that's always nice.
Hey, it's a 1. It's not that bad. Okay, so as Threema holds Everflame, he drags the blade across one of his open palms, and the blood begins to glow and levitate and take the form of dark red flames around the blade. And he holds it and he readies himself.
Okay.
You said these are orcs?
Yes.
Yeah, diseased orcs.
Correct.
And this room is right off the center room, or it's like a hallway down into a room.
Hallway down into a room. It's about 60 feet long and about
Okay.
20 feet wide right now.
Yeah, so we're in the hallway and the room's at the end.
Yep.
Okay. If you stand by the door, Salith will stand. How deep is the room?
It is roughly 30 feet by 30 feet for this. It's a smaller one.
Okay.
I will ask everyone
yep.
to roll initiative first, although you will get the surprise round, so you guys will go first, either way.
Okay.
Is the room well lit?
It is not. It's almost pitch black. Fuck. Friend got 15.
18.
God, I love the fact that it auto roll. Like when you roll in D&D Beyond, it now updates it. I don't even have to do it.
I love for the fact the one that's fading is the one going last.
Yeah, but since
Yeah.
you do have the surprise round, you guys will go get first hits.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm also going in pretty much blind.
Yeah, sounds about right. All right. Salith, you're gonna try. You were gonna try and set them on fire.
I am going to Eldritch Blast one of them.
Okay.
Actually, no. That's. Sorry, I have to see the range on this.
I will say they aren't wearing any armor. You can definitely tell they're pretty much naked down to a very little cloth that isn't like stuck on the corpses themselves.
Yeah, I'll do a produce flame.
Okay.
So I'll be right up at the door
Okay.
and do a produce flame on, or try to on one of them.
Okay. That hits.
15 to hit.
That hits.
Will be 4 damage, and then they will back up like 25 feet.
Okay. And let me give me 1 sec to roll percentile dice. All right. As you watch, shooting this flame off at the orcs, the biggest of the group kind of meandering closer to you than any of the others and aiming straight at it. The creature immediately catches flame, and you see as it kind of starts to get ready to charge, going straight for Bastion and Threema. And as it gets about halfway, the fire seems to extinguish, and the orc pops as ooze goes flying everywhere. Please, Threema and Bastion, give me dexterity saving throws.
Yay.
Oh, let's go.
Nice.
Natural 20.
Oh my god.
Oh, almost,
now
though.
You're getting nat 20s.
Now watch, he
That
gets...
was on Nat.
I was going to say, watch him get the crit confirm on a monster today. And,
10. I
10?
got a 10.
all right, you do
I don't
take...
take advantage or anything.
You do take... 1 second. Actually, no. You take no damage on this. Because I was thinking it was the corruption. It wasn't. I was rolling for... Or that was a different item I was rolling for. So yes, as the ooze goes exploding out, you manage to avoid... as it kind of flies past you a lot, kind of giving almost a shadow of yourselves on the floor behind you. Alright, the surprise round is over. You got your one shot off, as the other orcs are going to start charging you. The nice thing is, they will take their entire movement to get to you lot. as the remaining 4 are going to get right up on Bastion and 3 with 2 of them on either side to get the flank on them. And that is all they can do because they have to use their movement and action to do a movement. So, all right. So, good news. 3 you're up first.
Nice. You said 2 in front of me right now?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
They're right on top of you. 3 did we lose you?
Possibly, she was talking.
Seems we have.
And then they are not.
Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Welcome back.
I
Hello.
think my headset
Welcome
just died. Let me plug it in real quick, and I'll keep playing with it plugged in.
Oh, Salith
I
was
know.
rolling in the wrong. Yep.
Yeah.
You were rolling in Peaceful Future.
Oops.
I love this new
Okay.
party
You
member.
guys hear me
Let me
again?
change
Yeah, we
that.
can hear you.
Yes.
Yep.
I literally plugged in just a little bit before session. I guess I didn't get enough juice. Anyway, I am going to attack both because I don't have to move, so I get 2 actions,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna attack both of them
Okay.
because I'm angry. Grr. Okay. First roll, 10 plus 5, 15.
That hits.
All right. I don't want to go through the effort of finding my d6. I don't even think I have one, so I'm just rolling a d6 in there here. And then let me add the also the d4 fire plus 1d4. So 9 just slashing it should be, and then it's the 4 actually fire. Got all 4 for the
Nice.
first one.
Okay.
Just whatever one. I
Yep.
guess the one on the left, I'll say. And then the one on the right is a 19, so close to a 20. 19
hits.
plus 5. Yep, and then I'll roll that all again to see if I kill it, and it's gonna explode and kill me anyway, but it'll be cool. It's fine. 6 slashing and then 2 fire. for the
Okay.
other one.
As you attack the second, the one on your right, in between you and Bastion, it immediately begins to swell up from the heat. I need a con save from the entire party now. Because they are all within
Well,
range.
Within,
Well,
I'm
guys.
25 away.
Yeah,
Out of
yeah.
17.
Okay.
You'd think my
17?
con would be
Okay.
better. My
Nope.
con save would be better as a blood
Nope.
hunter, but no. Hey, 17 plus 2, 19.
Okay. So Salith is the only one who has failed.
God damn
So you take 13 points of poison damage, Salith.
it. Uh-oh.
And you are now poisoned. For the rest, you
Uh-oh.
take 7 points of damage
Uh-oh.
Ouch.
and aren't poisoned. You can, at the end of each of your turn, you can go ahead and make sure to repeat the save for the con. And basically you will take, or you can't regain hit points while poisoned. That's all it is. So. Oh, you're also at disadvantage on attack and ability checks. Attack rolls and ability checks, so. Alright. Well, you killed one. Good news as it pops and the ichor going everywhere. Mainly as everyone kind of moves to the side. Mostly covering poor Salith in just green goo. It
Ew.
smells of death, Salith, and disease. As the smell just kind of erupts onto you. Alright. Anything else you'd like to do, 3-Maw?
Well, I used both my actions. I don't believe I have anything I can do as a bonus action because I already did my Crimson Right. No, I'm good. Less enthusiastic about being up close with these guys, though, after that damage. But, yeah, I can't even move if I wanted to, so.
True. Alright, friend, you are up.
So here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Normally I
Friend
would
has
charge.
booked it.
I'll get to
The person is supposed to be the tank.
Mm-hmm.
No, because here's the thing. Friend has the mentality of a child because he is a child. And these things scare him because they tried to eat him earlier. And that's not okay.
Well,
So
these are
Friend
just
has-
orcs.
Things are always gonna try to
They're-
eat you.
They are
They're
orcs that are infected, and the previous one did try and eat a friend.
The previous one popped
Oh.
in a slime can and tried to eat him.
It did.
Uh,
This one you did notice did not have a slime come out of it.
It
Friend
just
still
popped.
does.
Make a will save. No.
Okay. So, friend, can I become big enough to block Salith in case another one pops?
Yeah. You.
I'd like to do that.
Yeah, you can
You
grow
could
inside.
block all of us.
You can grow.
Well, you two are
uh,
kind of in melee with them. I can't really do that.
You can transform
Mm.
yourself back into the null. It would be large enough to mostly block Salith.
Yeah. I'm gonna become a wall for Salith.
Okay.
Another knoll appears, Bastion.
Well, Next
I'm
round
gonna-
she'll be down anyway, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna save my swing in case one tries to get close.
Okay. All right. So held action. All right. Okay. Then the next one is the orc that is smacking Bastion around. He is going to try to attack Bastion outright. I assume a 13 doesn't hit.
Nope.
All right, and since it's not moving this round,
Nope.
oh well, actually, it doesn't matter. No, it had to move. It was gonna move. Okay, never mind. You're good. Either way, 17 doesn't hit. All right, Bastion, you are up. What would you like to do?
Kill it, but like not explode it, please.
I am going to swing my random acts of charity at the closest one.
Okay,
Uh,
that hits.
okay.
Random acts of charity. Why is it actually named?
It's a specific item actually that I made.
Oh,
10 points. Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to use my second action
Mhm.
to swing at it again.
Okay. And don't forget to roll your dice for your copper.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, please confirm.
That's a 2. That's
Oh, okay. So you can either double the damage or double the dice.
I will double the damage.
Okay.
11, so 22.
As that thing gets cut down, you watch as the corpse kind of drops to the ground outright.
And then my bonus action, I have 2 weapon fighting, so I can use my bonus action to attack the other one.
Okay.
21.
That hits.
And I think the
Ah.
catcher with this is that don't add ability
you don't get like the
modifier.
bonus. Yeah, it's just like the base damage. I'm pretty sure.
So then just a 2.
Okay. And then make sure to roll your 3 charity rolls. As you
Oh, yeah.
as you slice into the orc, lopping it clean through after 2 good strong hits, the first orc goes down, dropping to the ground. It doesn't pop. It just kind of falls, and the slime or the ooze from inside of it kind of leaks out into a puddle on the ground. Ooze as in not the monster, but like actual like oozing fluids. Not to scare friend any further. As you kind of lop at the second one,
I look
managing
the
to
same to him.
cut into its mouth and tear its bottom tusk goes flying into the air behind it. You also gain 11 copper pieces that go flying across the ground. Enjoy my 2 axes of charity. For those who don't know, Robert came to me and asked me outright. He's like, "Does Bastion get any magic items?" I'm like, "You know what? Sure." And I'm like, "What do you want?" He's like, "I want some sort of hand axe." I'm like, "All right, I got you."
It'll go well with the homebrew
Uh-huh.
class
I guess,
once I get there.
Yep. All right. The last orc that you just took the tusk off of and cut its mouth is going to try and smack you.
No,
That's
it
a
does not.
7. Fuck me. My rolling tonight as it
Yeah.
kind of swings. Bastion, this is compared
I
to
missed Bastion.
what you were dealing with in your previous time. These things make nothing compared to rockworms or dragons. Or goblins trying to poison your guild leader.
Yeah.
All right. Salith, you are up.
Okay, I have a question.
I have an answer.
So I was thinking because they don't know what the hell this is that got on them and they want it off. So if
Okay.
I used both my actions from not moving for prestidigitation,
Mhm.
could I get advantage on the con save?
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Okay. I will do that, and that's all she will do.
Okay, go ahead and give me the con save. The likelihood is you should roll.
Really? Fuck. It went from a 15 to a 7
Hey, since friend
on
held
the
an
screen.
action list,
Are you gonna help give him the help action here? Is that what you're?
I'll give him a third try.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you roll again with a help action.
Okay. And behind the thing, well, that's
You succeed. Thankfully, you beat it by 1.
Friend's got you.
As-
I swear lately, my dice, both yesterday and Saturday night, I had a different group, and today, my digital dice always roll down underneath the results section, so I can never see what it is until the result pops up.
It's time for some new dice. Oh man. All right, yeah, no. You managed to get the green slime off you. It falls to the ground as friend starts kind of patting you down as well, trying to get the stuff off. All right. Back up to the top of the order. Unless there's anything else you'd like to do, Salith?
Oh, that's it.
All right. The orc that Threemaw failed to kill is going.
I'm in a
Well,
smaller
you guys,
box.
root beer, milk.
Cheston, you're not on mute.
This is just milk.
You just let me know.
There you go. I'll let him message me when he's back. Okay. That orc is 19 to hit on Threemaw.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
Okay.
Casual 19.
Okay.
Well, looks like we might be getting yet another.
Let's see. The second one was an 11 to hit.
No, that doesn't.
Okay, so you only take 4 points from its claws and another 3 points of necrotic.
Oh, well, that's not good.
But the good news is that's the end of its turn, as it can't do anything else. And you are up, Threemaw, as it has just slashed at you, as it cuts into you, a little disease festering into your body. Thankfully, you aren't poisoned.
Can I yell to Threemaw before it attacks, like, don't use the fire?
Yeah, that's fine. An
You
infernal,
can,
I assume.
But it's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see Threemaw, like, kind of face scrunch in frustration, like, it's already infused in my weapon. And you could see the sword is, in fact, still glowing. I actually don't know
You cannot turn off the fire.
if... I don't think I can. Yeah, I was just checking. Bonus action. And last until I hold the weapon and complete a short rest, so I... think it's the only thing I can use. Bastion's within melee range of this thing as well, right?
Yes.
Is there a way for me to move to, like, be behind Bastion but also stab it, or would that...
You'd
give
take
it
an attack of opportunity, yeah.
Okay. Then is there a way for me to make sure we're both flanking it when I attack?
No, it would have to be moved.
Okay.
Bastion
no.
is without or outside of its reach.
And Threemaw could.
But
No
what?
matter. No matter.
Yeah,
You
no,
gotta figure it
bro,
out.
I'm 7 HP and all my attack options right now do fire, so there's no way I'm not dropping to this. And I think Threemaw knows that. Like, you could see the other heads kind of, like, looking like, dude, no. And then you just see Threemaw, like, the main head with a determined stare as it readies the Sword of the Everflame.
Okay.
Yeah,
Here we go. 2 attacks with
Go ahead.
it.
Yeah.
First one, 16 plus 5.
That hits.
Second one, 7 plus 5.
That still hits.
Alright, I figured. But I was just checking. Alright, so that's 2 of these, so I'll actually just copy paste this plus 1 d4. Shove it towards you. You think I get good enough rolls to have succeeded on a check for that? First attack does 7 slashing, 3 fire.
Okay.
Second attack does 11 slashing, 4 fire. Oh god, that's like max damage.
Well, you got 2 chances that this is gonna explode. So let's see. Does not, or it does, wait, yeah, so it does explode, popping, so this time, thankfully, Saleth doesn't have to take a con save, since they are being blocked by Friend. Friend, you are at disadvantage on your con save.
Yeah. This is where
It's
I die.
fine. You're a slime. You take poison damage?
If I no.
Yeah, you're immune to poison.
Yeah.
So
you're
is
fine.
Bastion. In fact, actually.
Yeah, I'm the only one who's
I'm
gonna die
resistant
from
to
this.
poison.
Okay.
I'm immune to disease.
Oh, that's right. All right, so yeah, I need a con save from everyone but Saleth and Friend at disadvantage.
How's
25, you
that's
succeed.
25.
Fucking
It was
goddamn.
almost a 20, but then it landed on the 8 plus 2, so 10.
It's a fail.
That's a 15.
I'm definitely
15?
dying.
All right.
Just stand there and tank it.
So that's a success.
Cool.
So
I try, but I'm
it's
a blood
11 points of a poison damage.
hunter. Yeah, down.
Well, the good news is you're not poisoned. Since you're down.
I'm down.
Yep. And then
Good
for the
news.
others, you both take, that'd be 5 points. If you are resistant, it is 2. Just as a heads up. Alright, well, there is one left standing in front of Bastion, and Friend, you are up. You've just watched as Threemaw, having this orc explode in front of his face, his face, covering him in this gooey ooze of plague, falls to the ground, as the slime seems to almost set off a little bit of smoke and evaporation as the smell of death comes off of off Threemaw.
So the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Is the outer body covered in ooze as well?
No. It seems to just have a lot of pustules kind of expanding.
Alright. Can I actually, if I shrink to normal size, can I actually get to it?
Yeah, you can get to it even in your current size. It's within
alright,
20.
we'll
I mean,
target
it's 25 feet walking distance, and Null has 30 feet walking distance. So
We're
okay.
at 40, actually.
You are also a special thing. I do not think
yeah.
traditional. Yeah, if I remember right, traditional Nulls only get 30.
Oh,
As
yeah.
you-
I'm extra big.
As you kind of run, yeah, you are also a size larger. As you run up, you will be right next to Bastion.
Yeah. So I'm gonna flurry of blows,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hope for the best.
All right. Roll to hit.
That's a 15.
That hits.
That's a 10,
That also hits.
and that's a 7.
That doesn't hit.
I got 2. 7 bludgeoning. Oh, that's 14 bludgeoning
Okay.
with 3 acid.
All right. And then for your second one.
What do you mean second?
Oh, did you just add it all? Oh, okay.
I did all 3. And just,
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so as you start punching into this orc, the pustules seem to kind of move and be pushed in as the body just takes the blows. The orc seems almost unfazed. You do feel something in your last hit as something seems to move within the orc.
I don't like that.
Alright.
I swear, if this is the one that has a slime in it, I'm gonna be really upset.
It probably is.
Bastion, you are up.
I won't start swinging.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit as you just watched as this knoll comes up behind you and just starts punching the orc.
21.
That hits.
Right. That's 12 damage.
You don't have to roll any further.
Okay.
As you cut into the creature, lopping it in half. Do give me a d20 roll, just flat. I want to, just out of curiosity for something.
Is there a slime?
God, I needed to click twice.
No, you're good.
Uh-oh.
Okay, as you manage to cut into the creature, friend, for a moment, you see a catalyst of what is the center of a slime kind of pop up as Bastion cuts right through it, managing to kill the ooze that was inside of this thing as the creature drops to the ground.
You really chose the one with the slime. Right?
I actually do have that one noted. So, listen, it wasn't random. It was an actual thing. The
Friend
big
doesn't like the dungeon.
the big exploding one also had a slime in it, but you kind of imploded that one.
Yeah, see, it's a good thing I've used fire.
All right, yeah, we are out of combat as you lot managed to cut the creatures down.
Oh, hey, I need to roll for my money, too.
Yes, please do for 1 hit.
5.
Okay. Nice. 5 more copper pieces, man, and you can convert up as you gain more.
Level up for the slime.
Remember, it's 10 coppers equals a silver, 10 silvers equals a gold.
Okay.
What the heavens are these things? They look like orcs, but they're
Is
something
dead.
else.
Orcs filled with slimes. Not good. Puppets.
Do you,
To give you another
Royce, do you want me to
display.
roll my saves?
Yes, unless someone's planning to
Alright.
stabilize you.
Yeah, I don't know if
And
we have
I
anyone
can-
healing.
I can
It probably
attempt.
shouldn't be me.
I
Okay.
have no healing, but I can attempt a medicine.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have a mess kit and stuff, I think, in my inventory, if that helps.
In a peaceful future, we get a 12. All right.
Yep.
So
I thought I changed that.
yeah,
I must not have hit save.
I seen it pop up in here.
Yeah, it does every once in a while. 3 Ma, you are stabilized, so you are at 1 HP,
Oh.
but you are unconscious.
Nice.
As
1 HP.
Yep.
Let me add it.
What
Oh.
the hell? I have it set that way.
Sometimes it
Oh,
glitches.
nope. Yep. It when I went back in, it went back.
Yeah, I've noticed that happens a good bit. All right. Yeah, as you guys end combat, as Salith kind of runs over to stabilize 3 Ma up to 1 HP, what do you guys want to do?
Can I use this torch and tinderbox that I have in my
Oh my
inventory
gosh,
so I
what
can
the
see?
heck?
Yeah. As you light up now, you can clearly see this as the walls you look around are made of a almost like greenish gold material that's very metallic looking as it kind of shimmers in the light. Looking behind you, you see the center pedestal where a hammer imprint, very similar to the one on your back, can be seen, and this full magic circle with what looks to be these vents in each of the 4 corners seem to be set up and kind of conglomerate into the center pedestal. What would you all like to do?
Did you say I got
That
3
hurt.
points of healing or 1?
You got 1.
Okay, just making sure because I thought I heard somewhere.
Nope.
3, okay. Yeah, I'm still unconscious, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lay here.
Yes.
The slime will
Friend, I'm with you. I don't like this dungeon either. That hurt. That was an abyssal, so only friend would understand. Unless Bastion, you have that.
I do not.
bad slimes. Aggressive.
Surprising, considering
Hammer.
your hit backstory.
We get hammer and leave.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll investigate the room.
All right, friend. As you start walking away, while the party tends to 3 Ma, as you kind of walk in, you see a little more clearly as you get the full room has in the back right corner this strange, almost brownish pit that seems to lead down deeper under the ground. And seems to be covered in this like greenish slime, similar to the ooze that was coming out of these orcs. But at the center of the room, on a very simply put together pedestal, you see the hammer itself, just laying there, with a little bit of green gunk on it. What would you like to do?
I saw Salith cleaning themselves with a spell, right?
Yes,
When I was at it.
prestidigitation, correct.
Yeah, but friend wouldn't know what that is.
Correct.
Friend will call over Salith after they stabilize the large dog
Okay.
Yeah, say let go.
Okay.
to get the gunk off the hammer.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I don't want to
Starts-
touch it.
Attempting prestidigitation. I
Okay.
hate that word.
You're good, no worries. Listen, man, hey, when I'm DMing, half the time, most of the words I hate. So as you cast the spell, the gunk kind of falls to the side, landing on the ground with a wet slap.
Okay. Do you want me to carry the hammer, or would you like to? Because if it's not magic for whatever reason, it will melt if I touch it.
I can.
Fair.
Saelith will grab it.
Okay. Saelith, as you kind of grab it, give me a intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
I heard that oh no under your voice.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Nice. For a moment, you hear a woman's very shrill voice, screaming something unintelligible, and then it disappears just as quickly as it arrives.
Oh.
Saelith just kind of looks around for a second, doesn't say anything, and
I hold out my bucket if you want to put it in there. And I carry it in a bucket so no one has to touch it.
I've already got it. Let's go back out into the hallway at least.
Okay. Exiting into the hallway. Again, the hammer seems to stay quiet. Bastion, I want you to give me an intelligence saving throw.
All right.
I know this is your one weakness.
13.
Well, you're brighter than I was expecting. As for a moment, you feel a pull toward as you see Saelith and friend coming back with that hammer. It almost feels like a piece of you for a moment, but you manage to resist the need to go and get it from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just eye it down as they like walk past me and then fill in.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. And 3Ma, you can give me a con saving throw to see if you can you wake up.
All right. 18 plus 2, not a dirty 20.
Did you say a dirty 20?
Yeah, that's what they're called.
That's what it is.
Is that real? Okay.
Yeah, because it's not
non-natural or dirty.
It's not natural.
Interesting.
My other group says it a lot, so I've just picked it up.
Alright. So, alright, yeah, as you manage to, kind of come back to consciousness as you see, the party bringing or Saelith kind of carrying the hammer while the knoll that is Friend and Bastion kind of filing in behind.
Yeah, it's gonna get up and, looking pretty bad off because 1 HP, probably leaning on the saber. I assume the fire went out and I got down because
Yes.
they probably dropped the weapon. Yep, so not looking too hot, pun intended.
And then we
and
ended the
this
session.
hammer, the hammer, what's it look like when 3Ma's looking at it? Like, does it look similar to Bastion, or is it just like, that's a hammer?
So, when you look at this iron hammer, it is basically a short and stubbier handle wrapped in a blackened leather, with the hammer itself being one big solid piece that is kind of bent slightly. No, more like the traditional, what the actual Mjolnir looks like, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I hate that version so much. I don't know who's going to wield that as a weapon. But slightly bent, almost like an anchor of sorts. And on it depicted, you see it looks like a man fighting off a kraken in single combat on one side. And on the other side, you see it looks like a man being left by, or being staying behind in a place while others leave.
Yeah, I don't think 3Ma's gonna say anything when they get up. Just gonna probably sit, try to catch his breath, and just kind of watch to see what happens with that hammer. Because,
Yeah, I don't.
seems funky.
I don't know what this hammer is going to do when we put it in. Do we want to rest again?
But
We would have to probably
I
take a longer
feel
one.
Yes, I don't think a quick rest is gonna do anything with wounds as deep as these. I'm out of commission until we can properly sit down.
I will say, you all would know there's an minus Bastion. There's an abandoned guild building above you, and the stairs are not blocked. You can still go up them and go back to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think do that. Shoot for a long rest.
Okay.
I mean, I could do a short rest, but 3
Mhm.
doesn't have any healing left.
Okay. As you lot kind of head back up the stairs, Bastion, you kind of feel a little sorrow for some strange reason over leaving this place. Sort of wanting, if you will, as you walk away. But as you come up to the surface, first off, you find yourself, as you look around, you see orcs walking around. Normal green and black orcs, not like the red orc from the Crimson Talon Guild. And as you as you lot kind of turn about, you see this kind of semi-broken castle with a central tower, and a bunch of wooden little buildings attached to the sides of it. That seem to have been kind of run down over time, but it looks stable enough to camp in for the day. It is about mid-morning right now, currently. So,
Yeah.
okay. As you lot go and head into the tower, making yourselves, or getting a campsite set up, not really needing a fire as it is quite warm given the weather. As you lot kind of begin to relax and rest, who's going to be on watch?
I can watch.
Okay. Alright, give me 1 second. I'm just checking something. Yeah, that's fine, Justin. Yeah, so as you lot begin to rest, all of you will get your long rest. Bastion, are you going to take a long rest at all, or are you just going to stay on sentry duty the entire time?
I'll take a short rest.
Okay. So
I
who's
only have 2 hit points to fill, so.
okay? And who wants to take over watch after Bastion?
I can.
Okay. So both Bastion and Friend will get a short rest. Alright, so as you lot begin to kind of settle down, falling asleep, making up your campsite, and relaxing, Bastion, give me a perception check.
Alright. That's not... Oh, that's really bad.
Oh no. What did you... Well, the good news is this isn't really hard to see. Well, the field, like, out and about, there seems to be orc adventurers kind of walking about, joking and talking. None of them seem hostile to you outright. A few run out of the dungeon you guys just left, screaming in terror, one with a missing arm. But as you kind of watch on as this whole situation's going on, looking up into the sky for a moment, you notice as it gets really dark for a moment. As you see almost a sweeping... darkness, not given it's only mid-morning still, as this darkness kind of sweeps over the sky and then just vanishes, almost covering as far as you can see, as it gets over top of you, nothing but pitch black, as if it was almost nighttime, and it disappears just as quickly as it heads farther north. This creature, from what you'd guess, whatever this was probably a few miles long.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And seem to have been coming from the south. At the same time, I want everyone to give me a perception check. Bastion's normal. The rest of you will be doing it at disadvantage as you are resting.
Does that cancel out because of my 3-head thing?
Yes. No, it does not. Not in
Okay,
this
so
case.
still have disadvantage.
Yeah. 4, 22 for 7 for Friend. Wow.
I almost got a great thing.
Yep.
2.
2. Well, again, thankfully, none of you rolled a 1. Otherwise, I would have laughed at all of you. As like an outright 1. The ground begins to rumble, and while Salith Threema and Friend, you barely kind of feel it more in your sleep. Bastion, you full feel the quake as this darkness kind of waves past you. All right. As
Snores.
as your sentry duty comes to an end, Bastion, and Friend comes out, do you two exchange any words, or are you just going straight to rest?
We can't.
That's true.
I can only speak to Salem.
Handshake.
Probably a bad idea, given he's a
Bad idea.
acid. Okay.
Friend gives a thumbs up as he takes over.
All right. Bastion, as you kind of head into the room, beginning to kind of shut down your systems, kind of falling asleep, or into a REM sleep, if you will. Go ahead and roll your short rest. Friend, give me a perception check.
Let's see if I can get a better roll. I have a good add-on. Can I manage?
Yeah, the slime has a +5.
It's a 12.
Yeah. Again, you watch a few orcs kind of come and go. A few adventurers that kind of eye you up kind of cautiously as they see this null form. I assume you're still in.
No, when I'm resting, I'm elf form. Always. I'm a
Okay.
little elf child.
All right, yeah. So again, still watching you with caution, as it's kind of weird that a child is hanging out right above a dungeon where a man just lost an arm. And as they kind of give you a wide berth, a few seem to be talking at the entrance to the dungeon. As another group seems to bring out on a almost homemade stretcher of a couple of pieces of cloth kind of stuck together with two sticks, holding another half of a body of a full-grown orc. As they walk off, the orcs seem to dissipate after a little while, and as you lot all awaken, what would you like to do?
Head back in and see what the hammer does.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Yep.
Friend will say to Saleth, don't we just leave? Don't we have to go give the hammer to somebody?
I don't remember myself.
Yes, that
Were
was
we
the
taking
question.
hammer to somebody?
Yes, that was the
The
quest you were
was to
given.
give the hammer to
Okay.
Emma or whatever her name was.
Yep.
And
There
I'm
was.
assuming it's just the hammer.
Yeah, I suppose we could. I mean, there was something. What would happen if we put the hammer and the pedestal thing?
Your
Would that do
choice.
something else?
Your choice.
Yeah, translating that across the board for the whole group. What do
Okay.
we want to do? Try the pedestal or just take the hammer?
I feel like we should go back in.
I'm voting for that too. See what happens with the pedestal. I mean,
I
we're
would-
here.
Like to try it. I mean, seems smart to at least test our options rather than just hand it off to someone.
Saleth takes the hammer and starts walking in.
Okay.
Friend's gonna
Alright.
grumble in a Sylvan. If I die, I swear.
All right. As the party heads back down into down the stairs, you can see a few dead orcs that have tried climbing the stairs to run away and didn't succeed. Many of them covered in green ooze of some sort or another. Heading down to the main room where the pedestal is, it still sits there. With the four corners of what looks to be little like troughs of sorts, leading straight from the ceiling down onto the ground, and then collating into the center where the pedestal is.
Do any of the dead orcs have anything of interest?
Give me a perception check.
12.
Yeah, about 14 pieces of gold between about 7 of the bodies.
Nice.
Yeah, Saleth will just try to figure out
Bastion,
how
you'll
this hammer inserts.
Okay. Yeah, so as you walk up, you see in the center the hammer lays on its side in this indent on the pedestal, and on the sides of it, it reads in Elvish, if anybody speaks Elvish.
Nope. Looks like fancy script though.
Friend doesn't. I know that. 3-Maw doesn't. Bastion doesn't. All
I
right.
do not.
So,
Well,
yeah.
hang on, actually,
I think-
wait.
I think
Let me
Duramar
check.
was the one that spoke elf.
Yeah.
Yep. This encounter... Actually, you know, that is why I chose the language.
No, he doesn't either. Even Durmar didn't speak Elvish.
Oh.
Okay.
None of us.
As you lot, are kind of looking at... Yeah, it's in fancy script.
I just kind of look at everybody and go to start put the hammer on and kind of like,
Shrugs.
yes.
3-Maw
Shrugs.
is gonna back up and just have his sword drawn and be ready.
Okay.
Yeah, my hand axes are at the ready.
All right. I will mention... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, 3-Maw, I will mention, quick note, that I did give you back the ring, as it did return to you. Secondly, as you lot, as you stand at the ready, and as you set in the hole that it is designed for, that came out way weirder than I meant it to. The blue like liquid seems to start coming down the from the 4 pillars in the ceiling into the trough and seems to go straight to the center as the entirety of the magic circle around you begins to glow, flashing with blue lights. Suddenly you lot find yourselves sitting in the middle of a castle as everything goes bright with light. Coming back, you find yourself sitting here, a half-destroyed castle, and for those who can feel cold, suddenly everything is extremely frosty. Your body begins to kind of go numb slightly for those who aren't wearing full clothing. And all around you, you see these broken walls as skeletons kind of walk by, kind of for a second looking at you lot, and then continuing their patrol. And as you
I
look
wasn't expecting that.
as you look out the holes in the walls, you see for miles nothing but white.
Okay, this is a bad idea.
I kind of expected more things, not to be somewhere else.
No, yeah.
You're
I keep-
right.
I keep finding myself weird places that I don't know how I got here.
Fair enough.
Might be a problem.
You know, a slight. You might want to start, maybe choosing different decisions. All
Yeah.
Can I
right.
look around and see if I might recognize my surroundings at all?
Yeah.
Does any of this look familiar
Uh,
to 3-Maw?
Bastion and 3-Maw, give me history checks.
All right. I should be. Well, my bonus
got a
isn't
10.
good, but I mean, I
10?
am history myself.
Okay.
Actually, does this have anything to do with Fey Feeds or undead? 'Cause
It
I get
does.
advantage. Okay, advantage.
Shockingly, there are undead walking around, as we just saw.
Okay, that is what's my history bonus? Nothing, so just a 14.
Okay. So, Bastion, we'll start with you. For a moment. During your travels, you recall hearing tales of a castle in the ice. Well, 2 stories. One in the South Pole and one in the North Pole. However, you've also traveled, during your travels, both as the rough visions you've gotten and when you were yourself, you quite recall that Dragon's Gate, as well as a few cities in the Elven lands, are all surrounded by snow for miles. So you don't have any idea, honestly, where you are. 3-Maw, you got, what was it, 14?
14, yes.
You recall, during your time of existence, there was supposedly a not intended last bastion to the far north of Dragon's Gate that was the last stronghold of that was taken during the Giants and Dragon's Wars, back when the two worlds two worlds were supposedly one, from the stories you were told.
Okay. Yeah, I think Threemaw's gonna look around in Infernal to say to Bastion and be like, this place reminds me of a place I was told about when I was younger. The last Bastion, during the war between the giants and the dragons when the worlds were both one. I'm not sure if it is, but if it is, then it's interesting we'd be led here. I don't recall a hammer being tied into that story at all. And then you hear the right head go, well, you were never really one for paying attention and learning things, were you? And the main one just kind of gives her a dirty side eye.
As the Threemaw begins to argue with themselves for a moment, and you lot kind of watching and looking around in curiosity, you see below you, as you are on the second floor, as you realize this, there's a throne, and there is a woman with blue skin and what looks to be full, like a blackened plate, almost of the same metal that looks like that Bastion's covered in. No, far worse.
I'm jumping down. Friend's heading down.
Okay. You do see a stairway. You don't have to jump from the second story, to make that very clear.
No, he's gonna, to impress him.
Fine, I'll make an entrance. I'll take the stairs.
As you lot kind of set off to the side, as you're walking, you notice the castle walls are melted almost. Quick bio break. Listening on the phone. Okay. And as you lot are kind of walking about or heading down, anybody who can cast magic, whether it be the minimalist of cantrips to the highest of spells of level 1 at your levels, can feel the arcane all around you extremely strongly. As you walk down, you see sitting at the throne is a skeleton, a almost bird-like skeleton, laying on the ground, completely melted down and destroyed, as if the flesh itself was picked from the bones.
Oh
and
god, I know.
you see the woman just sitting there. Threemaw. I will say, because I believe you have a passive for detecting Fey Fiend, right?
I do. Fey Feed's undead. I think it's a pet. Let me check my features and traits though before I confirm that. I have an advantage of wisdom. But maledict. I'm actually not seeing a thing that says it. So unless you wanna say it's part of my history check on this place.
I will say you would get.
I think it's paladins who get that sense.
Yeah, they get the spell. Okay, so I will say I'll give you an advantage on checks on this person if you do try anything with them.
Well, I was gonna say Threemaw was gonna try to determine, like, because she's on a throne, like, if she's a very powerful royal person or if it's like for show, because Threemaw's determining whether or not this person needs to be shown respect or not.
Give me an insight check.
All right, with advantage.
Yeah.
All right. First roll. Oh, that's a nat 1, so let's get better than that, please. Please.
I will say
Okay.
you can tell she's a fiend.
14.
Okay.
14.
Because she does have very large horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, there aren't many fiends of blue skin. In fact, there are none that are known in the modern day. Even back in your time, people who made pacts with demons and devils typically avoided those with the bluer colored skin due to their overpotency of magic. That was neither divine nor arcane. They seemed to have their own source, which made them far more powerful. In this case, this one looks extremely strong as she's sitting there unbothered by all of you just showing up and...
So, yeah, we were just showing up down the stairs then, like, right in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
Threemaw's going to, seeing this, like, draw the Everflame and then get on one knee, like, with the blade point down the ground and, like, bow his 3 heads like in respect.
Okay.
Now that he's in the presence of this fiend woman, because he understands she is powerful, and they just showed up, so he's
Yeah.
making a good and proper impression as he was taught.
Okay.
Um,
And what
I
about
don't know
the
what the others are doing.
what about the rest of the party? Yep.
Friend not able to feel magic
True.
and not
Same.
having any idea what's
True.
happening. Kind of just cocks his head to the side and kind of just
She's wearing a
Like-
shiny thing on her head, and you've never seen one of these, friend.
shiny thing. Shiny.
Uh-oh.
Shiny.
It looks to be almost a purplish metal on their head in the shape of a crown.
He's kind of just staring at the crown, cocking his head to the side, like not comprehending.
All right.
what it is. He's like, that's a weird hat.
Dangerous.
Bastion.
That's a
I'm just kind of standing at the back of the room,
Okay.
watching.
Okay. Actually, Bastion, you know who this is. I forgot about that because
Uh-oh.
when you were traveling with Kilxius, this is Zilpip's
Yep.
favorite side piece, Frodojin, the demon who served him personally as his concubine, as well as his right hand.
Slight side note: you guys just missed the. This was the one location that we were at.
Did you guys win?
No. Salith, what about you? What are you doing?
We survived.
First in Abyssal, not food.
You see as Frozen's lips kind of curl with a smile at that.
Yeah, as I'm looking at friend, and then
Hungry.
I will follow suit. I mean, assume I still have the hammer,
Yes.
or okay. I will do something similar with the hammer.
All right.
Like she doesn't know, so it's like super awkward.
Uh-huh.
Cause
Well, you're a succubus. You should know more about fiends than I do.
No, not
Yeah.
necessarily.
Friend will say out loud. What are you doing?
Are succubi
Like,
considered demons or devils at 5e? I don't.
Dev. I want to say.
Yeah.
I always get them mixed up. Which one's the lawful good
I don't-
or
Oh.
lawful evil?
I think that technically
Lawful
both
evils
are.
beat
That's
devils.
devils. No, because the devils are because they're the ones that make pacts.
All
Yeah.
right.
Maybe they're the ones that follow rules.
So,
but
yeah,
they like
Then
Yeah.
yes, you would recognize who this is.
Yeah. So yeah, she.
yeah.
Would, I mean,
In fact,
she
actually,
hasn't done anything like this, so it would probably be still awkward.
I will say,
Yeah.
given your background, your character's overall design, yeah, this is Frodojin, supposedly the killer of the entirety of her demonic clan. She is the last of the blue demons and devils, as there was a split between the clan, and is said to have been the one who killed them all out of fun. And they were pretty much on the same ranking as what would be in traditional D&D of an archdevil. They ruled levels of hell in a sense.
Yeah, then I definitely know. Probably I've never
Yeah.
never met them, but probably know who they are. So yeah, I would definitely show respect in this case.
Okay. The woman kind of looks at you lot and kind of smiles up at Bastion and goes, "Well, last time I saw you, you were in a hammer carried by a red orc. How's life treating you these days?" As she kind of stands up and saunters around you lot.
I just woke up.
Well, it's good that you've been purged of those nuisances from your previous life. Are you interested in anything that I may be of assistance? You were a good friend to my previous master. Well, your leader, your old master was.
Hmm.
Robert knows me well to think about this.
I don't think I need anything right now.
Alright. She just kind of looks at you and smiles and runs her hand through what would be your hair, which is just an iron plate. And just nods.
Chainmail links.
Kind of it jingles as she does it. And she goes, "Fair enough. And she kind of walks back around to Salith and kind of drops down to her, or drops down, not kneeling, but kind of squatting down to get down to Salith's eye level and going, "A succubi with the mark of a phoenix. Interesting."
What do you mean, the mark of the phoenix?
And she kind of ignores your comment, stands back up, turning around, and goes, "You may stand, by the way. No need for such respects. This is not my castle."
Three Mob
Thank you.
stands at that.
She looks at you. She sits back down in the chair and goes, "My previous employer." And she kind of kicks the skeleton's foot. Unfortunately, he recently passed away to a Fellis and a Tortle and a Warforge, actually.
I regret nothing.
But
Warforge, is that what they're called? And he kind of glances at Bastion.
yes, you've been asleep for quite a while, young one. Lots to catch up on. But different. Not golems. Golems are of a different breed, if you will. Those, as she points to Bastion, have their own souls, if you will. While golems can have souls trapped in them. However, your friend is very special for that factor. She looks at Salith again and goes, "You asked about the Phoenix, correct?"
Yes.
Good. Find that you have two options if you wish to find out, because truly I don't have an interest in explaining the politics of the world currently and what's actually going on around you lot. But I will give you this. You can seek out a dwarf by the name of Bardrus, who would be able to enlighten you of such information.
Good luck with that.
Or you may seek out the clan Zarius and learn of what is going on with them. The Darkened Prince, as they call him, is the one who you want to seek out. She smiles. But, as she uncrosses her legs and stands back up and kind of walks in front of you, all of you, you lot have come at a very interesting time. The gods are descending onto the mortal plane within 2 days, as she looks down at her wrist as if there was something there. And vengeance for any displacement or displeasement is at your hands. You lot can shape the future, should you choose. One could revive an empire long lost and revitalize the kingdom that they so sought to protect. One could gain revenge on all those who betrayed them and left them alone in the dark. Another could gain power beyond even their patron. Or you could choose to eat the world itself, as she starts speaking in Abyssal. But, as she switches back to Common again, or Infernal again, she looks at you lot and goes, "That is for your decision. As far as the seeking question of why that hammer brought you here, I have no idea what my master was into. For all I know, he used that for more tremendous plays, let's go with." And she smiles. Or maybe in tumultuous times. There's a word there, I can't remember it. But she kind of looks at you lot and just goes, "However, you are in the South Pole. If you head north, a few days, tumultuous, thank you, for a few days, you will come across a village. There's a Warforge who was serving there last I saw, one by the name of Blade. He's a thing for enslaving dwarves and such. Reach out to him, you should be able to get a boat to anywhere you'd like. There are Air Cochrane villages nearby as well, though I recommend not, given your Knoll friend there, not really meeting with them if you can avoid it."
Sounds good.
Alright.
Right.
The other
Thank you for the
silence.
information.
She nods and says, "Have a good trip, young one. One day maybe you too can claim the clan that I held." And she smiles at Salith for a moment. knowing full well what Saleth is and who Saleth is. And she goes, "If you'll have nothing else of me, please leave this territory, as it is my newish domain. I have taken a liking to it as I rebuild it after the Shagnarok, as you will, decided to melt half this castle for no other reason than for entertainment. Also, if you see a small fellas with a hood, please kill it." And she just kind of looks over at you lot with a very direct voice.
Bro, he will kill this entire party.
If you bring me his head, I'll be happy to reward you with a boon, but should you not, do not worry.
Keep an eye out.
She nods. And sits back down as if awaiting to see if you leave or have any further things to discuss.
Remo's ready to head out, but he's waiting to see what the others do.
Friend is bored and wondering. He's going the direction he's pointed.
Okay. Saleth?
You mentioned something about gaining more power than the one the pact is with.
Yes.
That is possible.
Anything is possible in these tumultuous times. Thank you. Fuck, there's my word for the day. I'm sober. It's the worst part. I can't even claim I'm stoned. She looks at you and goes, "You can choose to gain power through a traditional sense, gain followers, kill a god. All is within your reach."
Thank you. At least now it makes more sense where this extra magic came from.
She
I know
nods.
of warlocks. I didn't realize I was one.
Yes. A warlock, a sorcerer, a wizard, all of you are the same.
It's kind of racist.
If you know, can you tell me? Did they look for me?
She chuckles for a moment as she looks at you and goes, "You think a woman revived from the dead with a potential husband and a happy life, or a paladin of a holy order to a forgotten god, either of them would look for a person they barely knew or had an interest in. They laughed at you behind your back and left you as if you were a tin can in the breeze."
I nod and that's all I needed to know. And I head towards the door.
She smiles.
Yeah, Phaleth.
Phaleth, there we go. All right.
Yeah. Saleth follows, and when she catches up to Bastion, will toss Bastion the hammer. I don't seem to need this, and it's on your back, so.
I guess I'm gonna catch the hammer.
All right. Now I will add your hammer to your inventory later, unless you put it on your back or in your back.
I guess I'll put it in my back.
Okay.
Saleth will assist if he starts to try to put it in his back.
Okay. All right. As it kind of
this time, don't go anywhere.
as you shove it in, it fits perfectly and immediately melds into the body. While the markings do not disappear, the marking that was initially hidden due to it being put into onto the Warforge now comes out on the front as if a tattooed belt onto Bastion. So now he has 2 tattoos basically on his body, or imprints, if you'd rather. Thrima, are you following the party?
Yeah, he goes to turn, and then you see him seem to think, and he turns back to this powerful theme woman and kind of, not bowing anymore because she said not to, but still clearly a very respectful posture as he turns to face her. "I do have a question, if you mind humbling me with an answer."
Humbling? Me? How would I manage to do that of a royalty? But feel free to ask your question.
Well, royal or not, you sure are more powerful than I am.
Many things
He
are.
huffs, and he gestures kind of to himself and the sword, you seem to know of my slumber, which means you know of the ice that binds and plagues my people. I'm
Yes.
looking to free them, but having just woke up, I am admittedly under performance. Would you have any advice of the right direction ahead that would lead me to liberating them?
There is a single man that still claims the family title of those who had wiped you out, your people. I would know, of course, because my father is the one who granted them the magic. Snow and ice magic tends to be our specialty. Gives a blue aura of skin, as you can tell. She smiles at that. Now, while you may be hot under the collar at the thought that technically we are the cause of your entire people's demise, I'll give you a little piece that may make this our crossing, if you will, a little more pleasant. Firstly, the spell can be undone with the death of the Venkos bloodline, those who trapped you lot. Problem is, the Venkos have vanished. The one who was the god of death disappeared recently after the fall of Tenem, the king of Dragonsgate. Well, previous king of Dragonsgate, rather. And the smaller one, Aulus, seem to have also vanished. If you can manage to find them and end them and their bloodline, then you would manage to undo the spell. But there's only one that I know of that is left on this current plane of existence that I know of is the daughter of the Venkos family. A long-lost child left on the Isle of Man, alone to fend for themselves. They are probably your best bet on finding the others, as the female line does not carry the magic that you are looking for. However, in good news, there are gnolls still existing in this world. None of your direct people, but of a similar branch, if you will. Those who chose the new world over the old.
Do they know of the history and the power our people hold, or are they ignorant to us? These new gnolls.
They do not possess the capabilities with magic as you do. But they do have the ability to grow mana in its physical form and use it as a catalyst to cast spells far greater than anything we would know.
Perhaps I shall seek them out then.
Mm-hmm. What was that, Bastion?
I left the room.
Yep.
Before they was talking. Okay.
Yep.
Never mind
Otherwise,
then.
Otherwise, that would have been really useful for you to know, actually, because you do know.
Right.
But yeah. All right. She just kind of nods.
Yeah. He would just kind of nod all three heads and then turn and follow after the others. I don't know how tall they're pretty tall doorways, right? Does he have a duck?
Yes, they're very tall doorways. Eric Cochran
he
are
just
somewhat tall in this world. Okay. So as you fall off, as Friend kind of joins up with the group again, Frisian lets you lot pass, and as you leave the city, seeing a small town that is utterly destroyed, most of the buildings having been decimated from a recent battle, smoke still piling up in the air. You do see a death slod dead on the ground as you exit. I will let you roll for it, but I can tell you, Friend would sense this thing is very poisonous and dangerous to him. It is a CR-18 creature.
Slots aren't that high, are they? They're like 10s.
Death slots are pretty high up on the rankings from what I remember.
Yeah, but slots themselves only go to like 11 at the highest, I'm pretty sure.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, challenge rating 10.
You could try.
And they're not poisonous either.
They are poisonous. Their bodies are considered generally poisonous. That is not a thing in 5e though. That's mentioned. It's because of the negative energy shit they're basically infused. Similar to the things you were fighting those orcs, it's the same curse that they've got. They just use it.
Friends are never gonna get food again at this rate. This is sad.
I mean, I wouldn't eat a slot, but hey, you can try. I'll let you roll for it if you want to try.
Friend's not touching it.
Okay. As you lot begin heading through the snow, it'll take you a few days to get through the snow, as it's a good long a few miles of walking that you're going to be doing. Heading through the pass, you see a few Aarakocra that seem to kind of nod in your direction as you lot walk through, as they're standing on the higher cliffs, kind of watching you lot. Not attacking, not hostile, but they do seem to be eyeing you with a little paranoia as their eyes seem to track you throughout the entirety of the pass. Eventually, you come across a small shanty town with about 7 buildings, 3 of which you can see are at the center of a small little port, a large half ship of a war galleon, and then 2 smaller shops that seem to have had their signs knocked away recently. Would you like? And then, of course, the docks with a single small caravel by the looks of it. What would you lot like to do?
We should find this blade person, or Warforged,
Mm-hmm.
as they said.
Okay.
Try to find
Okay.
a boat. I don't know where we want to go, but we should go away from here.
As you kind of are standing, looking around, you do see the big warship building. Seems to have the word in common, very, very harshly written, as if someone was writing it in chicken scratch. IN on a sign outside of it.
What's the major race that's here?
You don't see anybody outside right now, as the snow is
Okay.
continuing to kind of continue blowing extremely hard.
And I head towards the inn.
Okay. As you head up, walking up to this warship that's been basically stuck into the ice, opening the very heavy door that you notice on the outside seems to have this strange, almost like metallic fur attached to it. As you open up the door, a goblin is sitting at the bar, and you see a very large man that's in a full suit of metal, having blades all over his hands, everywhere you can see. In total, you count roughly about 15 blades surrounding his arms, legs, and waist, and 2 hill dwarves that are just sitting there with chains around their necks.
And I'll be like, hey guys.
A Warforged randomly walks in, as the rest of the party kind of follows behind you. The goblin looks up at you curiously, kind of tilts his head and goes, I had a Fellas in here earlier. I've had Fellas, a Warforged, and a turtle. Now I've got a Warforged, a human of some sort, a 3-headed dog, and an elven child.
Is he speaking in common?
Yes, he is speaking in common.
Okay, so I understand, but not the best.
Yeah. I mean, 3-headed dog is a word you've heard a lot now. You've caught on to what it means to you.
Yeah, I've caught on to
You
that
you
one.
don't know what it means, you just know it's usually generally what they're referring to you as. And he looks at Bastion, the goblin looks at Bastion and goes, are you looking to stay the night, or are you looking to catch the Fellas that came through here recently?
I mean, yeah, do you know where it went?
He took a boat out of here with, after having apparently slain the local lord. Their Warforged that was traveling with them cut him down in single combat and then melted the entire castle. And he goes, I have no idea where they went. Last thing I heard is they were heading to the Isle of Man, and that they were looking for a Demi-Lich or something of that sort. If you're looking to catch them, that's probably where you want to look.
Did the rest of the group hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Friend has no idea what's being said.
Yeah,
Salith is the
or
only
not.
one. You and Bastion and Salith are the only two who understand what's being said currently.
I turn to Salith and I'm like, I'll translate for the dog. You translate for the thing.
Wait, was he? He's speaking in common, so
Yeah.
I can understand. Yeah, so you see Three Maw look at you, seeming offended, and Infernal says, 1, I don't appreciate that term. 2, I understand common just fine. The accent's hard to speak, is all. And you see the right head kind of shoots you an amused look, and the left one just, like, looks done with it already, as the middle head gets offended.
Friend's gonna say out loud in Abyssal, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, Salith translates.
The goblin looks up and goes, "Oh, you speak Abyssal. Good to know."
Yeah.
And he looks at you a lot and goes, "I also speak Infernal, Elvish, Draconic, Primal, and a few other languages, if you wish." As he looks at you a lot
Yeah.
and goes, "I assume you're here to either charter a boat or go ice skiing on your Warforged." As he looks at
Ice
Salith.
skiing.
That's
I'm not
not gonna be a
familiar
thing.
with this.
I think this should be a thing.
He nods and goes, "Well, if you're interested in a boat, the Lord of Blades can definitely assist with that. He should be able to get you to your travel destination, as he does owe me rent for the past few weeks that he's been staying here." And you see as the Warforged kind of turns his head, and he's got these two large, like, pincers on his face, as well as a pretty big dent in his head, from where it looks like someone hit him with a baseball bat or a
He
pipe.
deserves it.
He just kind of turns, sees Bastion, and immediately kind of stands up and looks very. If a Warforged could show fear and like start sweating, this man is doing that. And he just kind of looks at Bastion, then looks at Salith, and then looks back at Bastion.
Friend is gonna wave really happily.
Can I tell that they're a little scared?
Oh yeah, you recognize the fear of another Warforged.
I'm gonna like turn towards them and confidently strut like power strut kind of thing. And I'm like, so heard you can get us a boat.
He kind of give me an intimidation check with advantage.
Alright.
Do we have any idea what's going on, or is
No,
this
I mean-
just like
He's speaking common.
okay?
Ouch.
So he's requesting a
Damn it,
boat,
that's
and
a
he's
one.
strutting.
So Nate, the good news is
I'll explain that for session.
he has a really shit roll because he got a 2, so you're good. And he kind of looks at Bastion and goes, you've come, how, what?" And he looks very confused for a moment while still slightly cowering. Now, given this Warforged is 7 feet tall and is shrinking himself down below Bastion. Like, he is legitimately almost bent over and kind of crouching a little bit. As if he's afraid Bastion's going to hit him.
Huh? Yeah. You see Three Maw kind of looking like a bit curious, looking at Bastion, looking at this Warforged, looking at the Goblin, like, interesting.
He looks at Bastion and goes, I thought you left. What can I do for you? I apologize for my previous transgressions. I did not mean it. I fully apologize for what happened. As he looks at Bastion.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I shouldn't even bring it up. And he kind of bows his head. I was not even a worthy opponent.
Yeah, you see, Three Maw speaks up like, "What did you do to this thing, Bastion?"
I
It's
suggest
kinda like,
you
what's
tell
the
the
word?
story. And I take one of like my shitty hand axes, not my good ones, and I
Uh-huh.
like slam it down into the table.
Give me an intimidation
Yeah.
check again with advantage.
Tell the story.
17.
so I know
Shit.
that you know it, not
And
that I know
18.
it.
Fuck. Alright, yeah, no, that's another one. Alright. This is a level 20 NPC, by the way.
Oh yeah, he could kill us all. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, very easily. Especially because his 2 hill dwarf slaves, you can clearly see are clerics. He looks, he goes,
They're
I-
alive?
yeah, they did make, no, these are different ones. He looks at you and goes, I understand. I'm so sorry. I apologize for attacking you here at the bar. I did not know that you were truly the robot, the man who cut down a great worm in single combat, or that you could take on the Lord who had bought or paid for my services, let alone convince that demon to back off and leave you be. I truly, and he kind of bows his head, I truly apologize for everything I've done. Please, I am not worthy. As he kind of lowers his head.
Give us a boat and I'll be on my way.
He nods and goes, yes, not a problem. And he pulls out a little magic zeppelin and says, this will get you wherever you need to be, whatever you need.
Dibs on being the pilot.
Fremont does not look like he believes any of the stuff this guy just said Bastion did, by the way. Like, he's got all
'Cause
three
Bastion
heads have
didn't do
a
it.
skeptical expression.
I was gonna say, given your experience of battle, you can tell this guy's fucking strong. He's not the same level as Frotogin, but he's still really strong.
Bastion's really strong and he acknowledges that, but he doesn't think he took a, Great Worm in single combat?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in his better days when he was more well-oiled or something.
But the man hands you this little magic zeppelin and says, I bought it off of a tiefling merchant. I swear it'll get you where you need to be with it. You just need one person to pilot it.
I appreciate it. And I sit three copper coins down on the table.
He goes, I am not worthy of such praise, as he takes the money and puts it in a pocket, or in a little purse. He goes, I very much appreciate your business, and he kind of bows down again, keeping his head down, not looking you in the eyes.
I just kind of like quickly but still like confident walk out. Like clearly, I think the group can tell I'm sort of confused.
All right. As you head out, does the party follow, or are you guys gonna try and talk to this guy?
No, I'm
No,
following.
I'll follow.
All right. Okay, so following. All right, appreciate it, Salith. Okay, as you lot head out, no worries. And Bastion, as you see a little button that you kind of click on, or kind of flip up, the Zeppelin expands out in front of you lot, and it reads the Gaulish and has on the front of it a wood carving of a naked tiefling male as the like centerpiece of the front of the ship.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh no.
This was Gaul's personal ship.
This is
How
the person
close to
Tikva.
To that carving can we get?
You can get right next to it. I mean, the Zeppelin's on the ground right now, so you can walk right up to it.
If the dingaling is like detailed, I'm just
It
gonna
is.
chop it off real quick.
Oh, okay. You realize it's definitely overcompensating as it's going down all the way to the guy's knees, and like
No, I
hanging.
don't let him cut it.
Hey,
No.
out of character Bastion, this is the guy Tikva decided not to look for you over.
Yeah, this is. She did marry a god, if it helps any.
She didn't really have a choice, to be fair.
He could have picked worse.
It was a choice, but yeah, he was the best option, believe me.
Alright. As you chop it off, you now gain a mini Moby. It is non-magical, and the thing grows immediately back, as this is a magic item and you can't destroy it proper.
Damn.
You can keep getting giant wooden dicks though. If
Yeah?
you need
Here,
them.
we cut them off and use them as artillery.
If it is.
You're not shooting
Wooden
dicks in my
wooden
campaign
dicks,
at people.
No, guys, we should go
Friend
to the
is-
Nordlands and fight vampires because now we can make steaks out of the wooden dicks.
Even better is that Friend is, but Friend has the mind of a child, so it's giggling the entire time.
There you go. Fully understanding what this is. I will say
Friend
the
doesn't have
figure.
one of those. He doesn't know what that is.
I will say the figurehead does have its thumbs up and its hands out, almost like the fawns. Since I know Robert and or Bastion and Salith will get that reference. Well, I hope Bastion
Oh,
gets
yeah.
I
that.
know who the
I
Fawns
do.
is.
Yes,
I'm
I know.
Okay.
heavily insulted that you don't think I do.
I mean, given your age. I mean, given my age, to be fair, whatever. Anyways, but yeah, as you activate the Zeppelin, It immediately attunes to you as a free attunement. I'll give it to you at the end of session. And you guys are able to get set up on it. It doesn't have any cargo on this one, and it is a
Damn.
2 blimp Zeppelin, but it is magical and will fly as long as the person who's attuned to the item is riding on it. So this one is a little bit different. So,
Interesting.
all right, Bastion, as you all kind of get on, where are you taking the party? You are the one in charge right now.
We're hunting the cat, aren't we?
That I was gonna ask, go over that one more time, figure out exactly what we wanted to do now that we. Yeah, where do we want to go?
So out of game we have 2 options, because one, we can go to the human land and do the whole Rashaws thing, or we can go turn in the hammer, which is in Dragon's Gate.
However, the hammer is now merged with Bastion's
Yeah.
body.
So I don't think we're doing that.
No, probably not.
That's a godly boon we're not getting. All right.
You could also go hunt down the Venkas.
Yeah, we could.
I will
Right.
say, 3 Mile would know that where the previous cities of the snow dwarves were. So
Yeah, I was just actually was about to ask if like any of this terrain looked familiar or not.
Not
or, like,
here.
How much geography had changed.
but there
Okay.
is a map room in the Zeppelin that in the captain's
Okay, yeah.
room that is set up as a state of the ship. It's not
Yeah.
like
Then-
so. To give you an idea for the players who haven't used this and for those who are new to this campaign, the Zeppelin does have a door set up in the bottom of the ship that you enter, and it's an individual room. It's an individual plane of existence for each person that customizes to what they are in need of or what they seek comfort in. And then on top of it, actually has a captain's quarters that is part of the physical ship. That's right below where the steering wheel is. So, but the captain's quarters does have a full map of the world that is magical and can be looked around on.
Friend is curious. He wants to go in that room and see what happens.
I mean, as you walk in, the door opens up and you're able to get inside. You see as there's books lined up on the shelves, a big cherry oak desk with a red velvet chair sitting behind it, and then at the center of the room is this massive table with a huge map that seems to kind of light up all around it as you walk in, and immediately.
No, I meant the room that tailors to the person.
Ah, gotcha. I thought you meant the captain's quarters. I was gonna say.
That's why I said I'm curious what happened.
All right, we'll come to that in a minute. I assume the party is gonna first though gather around the map room to figure out where they're going.
Yes,
Okay.
at least I am.
Okay.
Yeah, going in the map room and 3 Mile's gonna look it over to see like how familiar it is to the maps like he knew growing up and stuff. How much has it changed?
Extremely. There are nations listed
Oh,
on there.
God.
There are religions you've never heard of. However, the general geography is identical. Minus a few rivers that have been diverted and a few new forests. The terrain is almost identical. You immediately see in the top right where the ring of mountains where the snow dwarves used to make their stronghold are still there, and it's now ruled by a new group of snow elves, which you've never heard of this race. A lot like most of the races you've never heard of as it switches between the different races and where they live. And you read that it is ruled by a half dwarf called Dimflame for those lands now. Which back in your day, half dwarves were basically killed on sight by both dwarves and gnolls.
Yeah, you see like as 3 Miles looking over this map and switching between it, like all 3 of the heads like just grow more and more frustrated or like confused. The main head definitely looks frustrated and is just like intently staring like, this doesn't make sense. What half dwarf? Then what are even these races over here? What snow elves? What did they crossbreed the snow dwarves with elves and get the elves didn't like? This doesn't make any sense. And just like grumbling like an angry old man, just like complaining.
All right. I will say the Zeppelin does start to float up, so you guys won't be bothered while you're sitting here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are the others at during this? Are they
I
just
was
watching
standing
this
there
happen?
just listening.
I
Yeah.
was never in that room.
No, Friend's gone off exploring, but Saleth and Bastion are with you, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Eventually, you're gonna see like kind of Three Maw pull back and just look to you like, I don't recognize any of this. Any gestures to the map, like dismissively, but I know a lot of it from heart, and if I could get a hand on older maps, we could start going to the dwarven cities, snow dwarfs. I guess there's new ones, whatever. It's important that I take care of these last remaining heirs to the bloodline and free my people. I don't know what you guys plan to do, but it's of utmost importance I fulfill my quest and my duty, so I say if there's nothing else to do, we make post haste to, what was it? Isle of Man? And he, like, you see him, like, glance towards the map with one of the heads to where that, female one lies.
You do remember on the back in your days that there was supposedly an island that had been discovered recently by a couple of small Goliaths, or so the rumor was going amongst the Knoll merchants.
Yeah, that must be it. Isle of Man. Were men around? Like, were
No.
humans around?
They
No.
were called,
Yes.
they were typically considered a lesser and weaker breed of Goliaths. And typically, in fact, they were less valued as slaves because of this. However, they were considered a lot more intelligent in general.
Yeah, so that's what Three Maw states.
Okay.
And he
Can
kind
I
of, like,
point out
looks to
the Isle of Man on the map then?
Yeah.
So I imagine I would
Yeah.
know where that is.
Yes, you would. You're pretty confident with modern maps, even still. Now, some of the kingdoms have changed names since your time being alive, Bastion. Being it's been 10 years, but
I am also proficient in navigator's tools.
Wait, hang on, Royce. Is the Silver Song Empire on the map?
Yes,
like
it
it's
is.
named?
yep,
So you would recognize that last name.
yep. The entirety of the
Bastion.
Tiefling Empire has been renamed to the Silver Song Empire, which is different.
Silverlong.
Yeah, Silverlong. There you go. That's Gull's side of the family, as you saw on the front of the boat.
Oh,
supposedly.
No, it's the name's also a
You know, I was gonna
overcompensation.
say, if we fly into Silversong, we might make some friends because of the thing we're riding.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, they're kind of being attacked. Well, or is this before the attack?
So as
This
we're looking,
is-
I'm like, wait, that's changed. That's not right.
What do you mean? And he kind of looks over like, were tieflings around?
No, Tieflings were not a known race at the time.
Yeah, so she does not understand.
Do I have like the memory of the names, or would that
Yeah.
just be kind of a vague?
No.
Okay.
You anything from when you were fully alive and conscious, you remember. You just don't remember much when you were stuck in the hammer.
Okay.
Mhm.
Those were the Tiefling lands before everything went dark. Silver Song. That's somebody that I traveled with. That can't be right.
Well, sounds like your friend owns an empire now, and it
Well-
looks at it. I don't know much about these people who live here, but it's an impressive range. Doesn't look like many other empires on this map. If you have a connection to someone with that power, it could do us a lot of good. Although you make it sound like you have issues with these past friend of yours.
I don't know how many connections I have, but I would like to go there.
Well, where are we? And you see him like kind of hunched down because he's so tall to squint at the map. Like, where are we on this godforsaken thing? Are we
You
here?
are
It
in.
just points like completely random direction. Probably wrong.
I actually have a map for this for that reason. Surprisingly, the DM does come prepared on occasion for certain things.
Well, Three Maw just in character probably has no idea where to like place himself on the map, but yes, show us.
Give me a minute. There isn't a castle listed on the map as of current, unfortunately, because this was just a recent update that I was working on. But here is the city, the generally cities and empires map. So yeah, you're down in the far left, where you can see the arrow. And no, Magiki Thala is not the name of the city. That's the name of the ocean. Let's say. So you guys are in the far South Pole.
Far South Pole. Okay, are we? What? Okay, so.
The world
like,
is round, so you could.
everything.
The
Yeah.
world is round, so you can go to the Tiefling Lands very easily.
I mean, Tiefling Lands is towards, like, if I'm sure Bastion's gonna point it out.
Yep.
It's towards to where Dragon's Gate and the Snow Doors are, right?
Yeah.
It's just because it's all in the air. Yeah, so you see kind of Three Maw nods its head. It's in the direction I need to go, towards my people's homelands and that of... And you see him snarl, those cursed snow dwarves. So if you need to take a stop there on the way, potentially get us something good, I won't complain. But again, time is of the essence. My people are frozen in an ice prison.
Tiefling lands sound good to me. They are fun people, closest to my lineage as Salus shifts to a female-looking tiefling.
Is that what they look like?
generic
Are
one.
they demons? Demons living
They-
among... Huh.
They have infernal
Or-
blood.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Not used to that. I suppose anything goes these days, though. Any kind of scoffs. Infernal blooded people and sentient golems.
All right. All right. As you come to a final decision, so are you going to the Tiefling capital of the Silversong Manor first, or are you heading to the Snow Elven capital?
It sounds like the tiefling one. I mean, guys,
Yeah.
do we wanna?
Away we go.
To be spicy. Oh,
Alright.
At this
God,
point,
okay.
Salith is following, so she's good
Yeah.
for everything.
Okay.
Listen, Three Maw. Listen, it's not like the smartest move. I mean, there's the potential for allies, but like, Three Maw's a little bit interested in this drama with Bastion, so they kind of want to see what happens when they go. So, so yeah, the Tiefling capital sounds good, and he's never seen those people, so might as well get a read for it. Once his people are freed, they'll have to worry about being a kingdom again and all these other races.
Okay. All right. So as you pick a destination, the ship immediately starts to move in that general direction. It's going to take you about 3 days travel, which will be in next session, where you'll be arriving. In the meantime, though, as you each get to check out your own rooms and check out the ship and do some things, I'm going to go down the list to see what you guys are going to do during the travels. If you choose to do anything, you can choose just to kind of relax and, sit back if you so wish. And I know Friend was dying to do this, so I'm going to give him his first shot. Friend, what would you like to do in your off time here? And I know Friend's on mute to see if they come back. Okay, they are on mute, so we will wait till they come back. Oh,
Hello.
welcome back. All right. Yeah, so what would you like to do in your 3 days of travel?
What would Friend like to do? So, Friend doesn't have much to do. There's nothing here that he can eat for power, and he doesn't have much to do. And I can't really read because he'll probably melt the
Go
book.
eat the magical dick off the boat.
Please.
cannot-
Maybe it'll.
Yeah, he
He's not
cannot.
yet.
You cannot eat magic items as of yet.
I mean, maybe it's best if we show up to the Tiefling Kingdoms with just the dick chopped off. We might get some looks.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
seeing as Bastion's now carrying a few wooden stakes of dicks, 50-50. All right,
Well,
but Friend?
maybe they think he's just a fan.
Friend will train his reaction speed, which I assume would be dexterity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll have you roll for that at the end. No worries.
Okay.
3 Ma, what about you?
Okay. Can I actually? You said it's 3 days, right?
Correct.
If it's not too much, can you actually roll to see which heads are in charge those 3 days? Because that's going to influence what I think 3Ma would do.
Sure, give me a minute.
Because I don't want to just assume. I mean, I gotta know. Cause
So main
that
head
changes what
stays
they
in
want
charge
to
for
do.
the first day.
First day, okay.
Right for the second.
Right for the second. Okay.
And right for the third day.
Okay, so first day would probably be spent with 3Ma wanting to practice something physical, maybe even coercing Bastion into a spar, something to test both his abilities and this new Warforged, not Golems, abilities.
Okay.
Then the second day, you would all notice the Cerberus to be in a much more pleasant, sensual mood as the right head, why did I say three head? Right head talks more. It would probably engage Salith, maybe Bastion, in conversation, asking more about, the world, the people, the culture, like wanting to take in information, and expressing a desire to experience some of the more, as the head will say itself, in quotations, fun aspects of the culture. A wink, wink to the other heads.
Okay.
Not so pleasant expressions. So
Okay.
that would be those 2 days. But.
Okay. All right. And then Salith?
They don't have anything special to do, but if they're engaged by 3Ma's right head the other couple days, they will shapeshift into a gnoll and experience some things.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
All right. Well, that went
I was
somewhere.
implying more like alcohol and stuff, but I mean, the right head wouldn't
Well,
say no. I don't know how the other heads would feel.
You're talking to
Succubus.
Yeah,
somebody,
succubus.
so,
No, it's still
yeah.
in character for the head and control. That's a
it
fun
won't-
thing.
They won't force it, but it's like if it seems to be going that way. I mean, they've
That gift.
done it pretty much in every
Succubus.
race. So
All right. And then
Wow, that happens.
All
Good thing
right.
the rooms are sealed off
Yep.
magically.
Bastion, what about you?
You said there was a bunch of books and stuff,
Yes.
so I'd probably try and read up on some of the history that I'm blurry on
Okay.
in those down years.
All right. So I'll start with you then as far as results. Make it easy. You learn about the great catastrophe at Dragon's Gate where Zilpip managed to gas the majority of the population and genocided almost all the clerics in the city, causing a mass death during the war between Dragon's Gate and the elves, to which they did win. And Tenem usurped the throne. You'd also learn that the High King, the old High King that he knew, was unseated from power and banished, or was killed outright by a man by the name of Cyrus Galadron. And a lot more, which I'll explain later as it comes up. Because I know you're not going to keep track or write this down, so we'll wait till it comes into play. Okay, and then for Salith and 3Ma, as you start your more dexterous adventures, you watch as Friend turning into a cat kind of watches you lot for a moment as you start heading to your room, and you
Okay.
hear him comment something along the lines of, wrestling? And...
Oh god.
Oh god. And as you lot head off and vanish.
Stop fun and games until Null Friend walks in.
Yep, there we go. Friend.
Uh-oh. Hey, I mean 3 heads,
I
Three
don't think you
people.
want that.
Friend, why don't you give me a d20 plus your proficiency for your to see if your dexterity levels up?
It definitely does not.
Yeah,
And
you
this-
Oh,
you outright you try and practice, but to be honest,
Hey.
it's a flying ship. It's really hard to jump around.
Maybe you should ask Salith for some tips on dexterity after this.
And with that, we thank you all for joining us until next session, where the party is going to experience the Tiefling Lands for the first time. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you guys
experience it.
on Monday. Shut up. Hopefully, we'll see you all on Monday. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.